Hydrostone is definitely, in my opinion, a much safer product to use if you are limited in terms of your workspace environment. Hello everyone, if you're new here, I'm Alan with Earthglow, and this channel is all about sharing the joy of candle making. Now in today's video, I'm going to be addressing a topic that I've been asked about a lot. As concrete candles have become more and more popular, this topic has really come to the forefront because of the fact that a lot of makers are using several different mediums. Specifically in the US, we have hydrostone and cementol. Now there are several other types of mediums that concrete makers will use a lot of in the US, but those two would have to be probably the top two. But if you are new here, my name is Alan and I'm the owner of Earthglow. I make videos all about sharing the joy of candle making, and concrete candle making is probably one of the niches that my channel is most known for and appreciated for, as well as Earthglow's Patreon account. I share all my formulas from concrete candles to concrete pigments for those candles and all the above that goes into the behind the scenes of making our concrete candles at Earthglow. So I share all that in video forms on this channel as well as over on my Patreon platform, where you get all the full formulas. And I would say a number of people, both in the comments on this channel and on Patreon, have asked this question. So this video is going to attempt to address it. Let's get right into it. So if you are here just for the bottom line, I am going to answer the question in 3 words, which are probably going to make this topic no more clear than this video was at the beginning. So, is cementol dangerous? Yes and no. That is the short answer. There are a number of different factors that you need to consider that depend on your individual circumstance as a candle maker and as someone who is probably doing this from your own home, from your own garage, etc. Now, this question has really come to the forefront because cementol in particular contains over 30% of crystalline silica. Now, what that means is these are very tiny, tiny particles that when they go airborne, they can basically harbor in your lungs and in your airways to where they are very, very difficult for your body to ever be able to expel. So if you inhale a bunch of this dust in the making process, this can be very dangerous and detrimental both long-term and short-term. Now, hydrostone on the other hand contains less than like 1%. It's just trace amounts of airborne crystalline silica, and it is overall, I would say, a much safer medium to use because of this. Now, that is not to say that you can just go around using hydrostone and not cleaning properly your work area and not wearing a mask. That is not to say that at all. But it is to say that overall, the short answer is hydrostone is definitely, in my opinion, a much safer product to use if you are limited in terms of your workspace environment. If you only have an indoor type of an environment, I would absolutely stay away from cementol. When you're using cementol, you need to almost have your area treated like a pottery type of a studio. The biggest thing is you don't want to create the dust. And so to avoid this, when you're cleaning up your work area, you need to do that with a mop or some type of a wet form of cleaning, because that is going to minimize that dust becoming airborne. So mainly, just like when you mix clay, the dust becomes airborne when you're mixing the cementol with the product. Now with clay, I feel like, I don't know, I'm not a potter, but I feel like you can get a lot more out of a bag of clay than you do when you're mixing a little bowl of cementol. So in some ways, I would consider us at even greater risk than someone doing a pottery type of a project, just because of how many small batches that we're mixing up of this product. And that again is when that dust is forming and going airborne. So if you have a garage space, which is what a number of makers have available, that is kind of a luxury. I know not all of us do, but I know a lot of people, at least that I've spoken with in the concrete community, do make their candles in their garage. I would say that cementol, as long as you are wearing a proper respirator, I'll have the one that I use linked below, you are going to be much safer doing this in a garage space. Again, with that proper respirator, and again with you and everyone else in your home being aware that you are not going to be sweeping your garage. The way that you're going to be cleaning your garage from now on is with a mop. It is going to be wet cleaned, again, to avoid that dust becoming airborne. Another thing that you're going to want to make sure of in your garage space is that you don't have a bunch of objects all over that can sort of collect this dust and have it kind of settle on them. And just like when you have a pottery studio, you want to keep things as minimal as possible and as easy to wipe down and wet clean as possible when you're dealing with Cementol because of that airborne crystalline silica that can be a real danger to your lungs. Now, as I did mention, if you are working in a home type of environment where you have a room available, and I would say that is just a gold standard with any of these types of products, you want to make sure that you have at very minimum a room that you can dedicate and close off so that if you have pets or kids especially, they are not getting exposed to this stuff at all, that people that are getting exposed to this have been properly trained and have proper PPE, personal protective equipment, like your respirator on when they're using this product. Or any of these types of products, because of the fact that that dust, even if it doesn't have the crystalline silica, is not good to be breathing in over time. So, but if you do only have an indoor space available to you, I would definitely suggest working with Hydrostone. And I would also say that you need to have a space, even for Hydrostone, that is free of carpet, free of rugs. You need to be able to easily clean that space. Now, with Hydrostone, I would say that you can use a vacuum. The crystalline silica is only present in trace amounts, so what you're dealing with there is going to be much more similar to, just vacuuming up some dirt or dust in your home that is not potentially really toxic to your airways. What it really comes down to with Cementol is that airborne crystalline silica. I know I sound like a broken record with that, and again, the mask, the respirator that I use, I'll have linked below. I do still continue to use both mediums, and I do still purchase Cementol. However, I'm extremely cautious with my work environment in my garage when I'm making these projects, wearing my mask and making sure to only clean my garage with a wet mop, as well as making sure the overall space in my garage is minimal in terms of the other objects there, just so that dust doesn't collect in a bunch of areas that make it harder for me to be able to properly clean. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this one, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And how do you do with Cementol or Hydrostone? What are your feelings on this subject? Again, this is not a definitive video. These are just my opinions, and these are also backed with a good amount of research that I have put in, but it is all just my own opinions primarily. And so I don't want to claim to be some sort of an expert on this topic when I am just a maker myself, but I also really value my home environment and my lungs, as well as any of those people that are around me and my work environment. Anyways, I'm sending all of you guys peace, love, and light, and I'm wishing all of you happy candle making.